It helps if I press the right buttons. Hello, coders. Hello. Welcome to the Sunday stream. How's everybody doing? Sort my microphone out. Good. So, let me just press that button. And press that button. So much for organisation, eh? Okay. So today, what we're going to do today, we're going to be working again through the howtocodewell.net site, the new site. Lots of changes to show off. Lots of discussions as well. I want to talk also about some of the future things that might be coming on. And also, I have some announcements about future stream schedules and stuff like that, because things are a bit crazy at the moment. So we'll be talking about those soon. So I'm just peeling off some electrical tape. Some electrical tape from my desk. Yuck. So let's get into the code, shall we? Yeah. So, boom. So this is the How to Code Well portal board on the old Jira. So there's quite a few things that I've done. There's still an awful lot left to do. But I've changed a couple of things around because I thought the first ever release of this would be... Good morning, King Melon Live. Thank you for joining. I thought the first ever version, the new version of this, would be with user access and user the ability to subscribe and, go through the motions of changing passwords and creating a profile and all this stuff. Turns out that's actually quite difficult to do. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm readdressing what the MVP, the minimum viable product, is. And I'm going to try and do the first release without the user integration. So I said a few weeks ago that I wanted to replicate the current howtocodewell.net site. So if we look at this now, if I go to... Always wants me to go to the podcast site. .net. So this is how it looks at the moment. And as you can see, there's no user integration at all. There's no user login or anything like that. So I think as long as the first ever version or the next version of this that goes out just does what is currently here, then that should be okay. And there's an awful lot of it that it's actually doing. So King Melon Live, excuse me, I'm rebuilding howtocodewell.net. And I'm doing this in the front end is going to be in Gatsby, and there's some microservices behind it. More on that I'll talk about in just a second. And this site here is hard coded. I mean, it's in Symfony, but the content itself is hard coded. So if I clicked on one of these courses, for instance, start a course. This is all being pulled from a hard-coded... See, that view count never changes. A hard-coded... I think it's a JSON file that this is in. So there is zero database here. And it just doesn't look great. I don't think it looks fantastic as a website. And there's other things as well. Also, like the blog, for instance. The blog here is very old. And it needs updating. I want to get rid of the ads. Don't want those. And whoops, sorry. I'm changing the way the shop is now going to be called resources. So that's what we're going to do. Is it going to be on Mongo? Well, so there's parts of the microservices that I haven't quite decided yet. We might be using some Mongo. We may be using some RabbitMQ. We might be doing some other bits and pieces. So But this doesn't. But currently, this is running off of Symfony. There's some Python scripts behind it for things like integrating into YouTube. So this is it's mostly just hard-coded Twig and Symfony controllers. This, on the other hand, is, if I go to here, is the new site. This is what we're building in Gatsby. So the front end. Now I'll say this every single stream. I'm not a web designer. I can't make things look good. Okay. So yes, it works off the React framework. Yep. It's a static site generator, so it builds what you can do is you can call upon various external resources, i.e. APIs. That content gets put into GraphQL, and then you can search the content and use the content from GraphQL. So I'll just show you go through some of the changes that I made. In fact, the homepage here is one of the changes. There wasn't a homepage last time. I've also tidied up the menu here and the footer, and I did this I think it was last night. I was just playing around with how this could look and feel. I want to change the tech. I want to change the images of every one of the courses, and there is 16 courses that I've done so far, not including the featured courses. So the featured courses, we're going to have all the courses that I've done for publication companies, such as Manning's Docker in Motion, and then with Pact, we've got 3 courses for Pact that I've done. And the course that I'm developing on Stream, which is the Design Patterns course in PHP, will also be a featured course as well. And there's also an AWS course that I've done that will be up there too. So I'm thinking that this might be like a carousel, right, with arrows either side. I don't know, haven't really decided yet. The homepage is kind of like one of these things that I've sort of left to the end to sort of play with. I would rather get the content running. Awesome. So you're playing around with React. Well, we're doing a bit of React today. Getting out of tutorial hell. Right, state and properties, sure. You know, well, that's probably the best way to go about it, King Melon Live, is to just see what you can do by breaking it, because when you just jump in, you know, this is to me, this is self-taught, because, you know, React didn't exist when I was, you know, being taught code. So this is all self-taught. So I've just been breaking things and trial and error. And yeah, so I've gone through some tutorials, but it's mostly out of, you know, hacking on things and then reading an article and going, oh yeah, I shouldn't have done it like that, I should have done it like this, but only getting to that stage because you've broken it. If that makes sense. So okay, so what we've done already on here is on the courses, we have these 3 courses. Now, as I mentioned, there's 16 courses, but I'm yet to this is coming from a this is coming from a course API that I've created in Symfony 4. All of this stuff, and I'll be showing GraphQL as well today, of how this is done. Hello, Maribang. Hello, Maribang. I hope that's the right pronunciation. Hello. Thank you for following. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. So yeah, so we're going to be playing around with this and the and GraphQL, and I've got some announcements that I want to do as well today. So that is the course thing, and if I was to click on one of these, so let's say, let's go to courses here again and click on this one, start course. So this is what this looks like. And Where are we? If I clicked on there, this is what this looks like. So we have the ability to go forward and back across these across the tutorials. We have the times on here, and what I'm thinking of, there's a bug here. I need to fix this. Essentially, what I want to do is have this mimic the height of that, and have this as a scroll bar, sort of scrolling type thing. And then we have the Docker for beginners, and then we're going to have various bits to entice people to become members, which is where the user bits come in to play, right? Oh, thank you very much. Hello, Avatar 197. I also want to get this to highlight as well, so whichever one you're on, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, so that's the courses sorted, mate. So that's done, and then the blog is here. Now, one of the changes that I've done compared to what it was last time is I used to have these big, garish-looking borders around, and I've removed them. I've just tried to make it a little bit flatter. This, I should say, the dimensions here are slightly off because it's squeezed into this little sort of, what's the right word? Well, it's squeezed into this window just for the stream, right? So it doesn't actually conform to the right widths that I've set it to, but whatever. I'm making excuses now. Not a massive fan of how this all is formatted. It looks a little bit squished, and I'm not a fan of the pink that gets thrown around. There's too much, I think. But this is coming through. Now, this is coming through for anyone on the Discord server and who's been on the pro user conversation today. We've been talking about microservices. Well, the blog is coming from Ghost, which is a Ghost is a publication platform built in Node, and that is on a completely separate Docker container. And I'm using the APIs to pull in the blog content. And we can go next, and we can go previous. And then here I'm pulling out some particular resources. The resources, by the way, I'll show you those in just a second. I haven't wired up the actual resources page, but we should be able to go to resources books. So this is going to replace the shop. And the shop is here. So it's a bunch of books that I recommend. And I'm calling them resources. Which are nice and neat there. I haven't put all of them in, but so just this lot. And I also want to make it... I also want to have these clickable as well, so that it changes the display based on what you've clicked here. Cool. I think that's okay. There's the Discord. So this is showing people what they can do or get from becoming a Discord member and supporting the channel. I need to fix these buttons because they look terrible. When you hover over would be much better, but overall site is nice and simple. Thank you very much for saying that. So let me just see. So if I go over to here, so instead of having the slight color change, have a shadow, which changes. That's an interesting idea. Yeah, I'm not a designer. I'm just making this stuff up as I go. So that's a good idea. I am interested to once all the functionality is in play. I mean, obviously I have to make it look like a website, right? But once all the functionality is in play, I'm thinking of actually going to a web designer and saying, "Can you make this better, please?" Because I think I'm missing a lot of tricks. Oh, sorry, Avatar. So when you go to the blog. Yeah, Yeah, see, it's terrible, isn't it? It's really in your face. I mean, I like the pink on the sort of the dark. What would you call that? Sort of a dark blue, dark grey almost. But it's a little bit in your face. So changing that to be sort of just changing the shadow colors. I also, whatever I do, I want it to be consistent. So I mean, this isn't the same consistency. And as someone has pointed out on the previous, I think it was like 2 streams ago, with these actual thumbnails, there's far too much text on the thumbnails. So even having a thumbnail that it has a block color and then the logo, so that would be like the penguin, that would be the Docker whale, and then that would perhaps be the PHP logo, that kind of thing would make it better than what it is. Yeah. So they're the changes I can report. Now, feature flags. So let's just spin it back a minute and talk about the MVP. So the MVP, I've gone through all of the tasks that I've got here. There's 37 to do, and I've removed all of the labels of MVP off of the ones that are to do with user interaction, so logging in and all this stuff. Because what I would want to do is I want to move away from that in the first release, because it's quite complicated. The more I think about it, the more features I'm going to have to implement, like the whole forgotten password mechanism, the email mechanism is required. All of that stuff is needed. The payment gateway, all of that there's a lot. So I am focusing on things that aren't MVP wise off stream. And it got me thinking. How can I develop something, and then turn it off in the release, right? So, for example, on the first ever release, we're not going to have these buttons, right? We're not going to have pricing either, because there's going to be no. All the courses are going to be free. They're not going to be I'm not going to include the premium courses, or the premium courses that I've created. I'll add the Docker in Motion and all the other courses that I've done for other places, but not for How to Code Well. So how do I go about that? How do I allow myself to actually develop something that I don't want to be pushed in the first release? And that's where feature flags come in. Because when you're playing around with design and you know that there is, after the first ever release, there's going to be another release which will alter the way it looks and feels, you want to have the ability to flip between, production ready code versus code that is not production ready. So in the Gatsby UI, in the Gatsby documentation, let me see if I can find it. Bear with me a minute. So it was Gatsby. It was essentially it's environment variables. This is what I was playing with yesterday. I think it was yesterday. I don't know. A day. All right. So this is what I was looking at. So you can essentially create some environment variables like switches. And with Gatsby, you can have a .env development and a .env production. And because it's a static site, there's 2 options. You can either do Gatsby develop, which will build it in such a way that hot reloads. So any changes you make to the code, it hot reloads it in. Or you can do a Gatsby build, which builds it into a sort of quote unquote production ready type thing, where you can then just put all the static files on a web server and off you go. So what you need to have is the .env config, and in the .env file you can create these sort of switches like this. These are a better example, which means that I can do something like this. If I scroll down here, So we have in our env.development, we have a bunch of environment variables here. So one is even the link to the APIs, which will obviously be different when it's production. And in fact, at the moment, the APIs don't need to be in existence after the site is built. Not yet. It's something that will have to be in existence when the users start logging in and stuff, because there's obviously going to need to be some server interaction for that to actually happen. So what I can do is I can turn all of this off. If I did false and false, right, and then went back to the command line and then ran, if I did Gatsby clean, so clean is going to remove the cache and the public directories, and then if I did Gatsby build, or sorry, Gatsby develop, it will pull all of the data from the APIs. I'll talk about those soon. Oops, sorry. So it's calling these APIs. And then it's going to build the development bundle. Which is done. And if I go back to here, can you see, whoops, there is no more, it's hot reloaded, so it's changed. I don't have to refresh the page, but there's no pricing and there's no login and register or join or whatever it was called, those two buttons. This means that I can work on functionality which won't actually be out there in the first ever version.
Hello, coders.
Excuse me. Thank you very much, Liz Coulter Smith. Thank you very much for following. I'm holding up my tea here, saying cheers. Hello, thank you for following. Total side note, I went downstairs to make my cup of tea, right? As I always do when I start streaming. My wife was baking. She loves baking. And she's bought 7 packs of Oreos. She's making she's using Oreos as a sort of a biscuit base for a particular cake. Yes. Wow. I can't wait. Can't wait to do that. I'm well fed. I'm well fed in this house. If you like Oreos, then +1 in the chat. Oreos are awesome. Okay. So, and as I've got, what I can do is I can create a new one, another one here. And I could do production. So, in production, I want to have these set to false, and in development, I want these set to true, because I do want to work on these. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this out again. Excuse me. We're now going to go into production mode. So I'm going to do Gatsby build. So you can see that it's running in production. I don't know what that is, that issue. Running something or other. So this is the command I would make, or one of the commands I would do during the deployment. So this is now using the production environment variables. So it's building all that. Come on. Cool. Running all the queries, building all the things. Because it's in production, it also goes through and does some of the tests as well, because I have some tests. And then what I can do, so this is still development, right? But I can do I think I've got it set to how to code well local. Okay, so now this is in production mode. Okay. So essentially what I've done here is I've created a virtual host on my system, and I've pointed it to this public folder here, which is where the production build lives, right? And I've just changed the IP address of localhost to point to that URL, which is howtocodewell.local. So this is what I would do to test the code or test the site before I actually push the public folder to a production server or wherever it is. But notice here, the biggest thing I want to show you here is notice that there's no login and there's no register and there's no pricing. And in fact, I've gone one step ahead of that. And if I was to go to login and press that, what should happen is it should hopefully, yeah, it then redirects you to a 404 page, which is 404.html. Page cannot be found. Okay, so that's in production mode. So let's close that down. All right, let's come out of this. So I need to do a Gatsby clean. And Gatsby clean, by the way, what that does is it removes the public folder and the .cache folder. Let's do Gatsby develop, running off of that particular port. Now I'm running in development mode, and development mode, remember, is running off of this set of feature flags. So true and true. So now it calls back the APIs and all of this stuff. Okay, so now if I go to this address, which I have here, can you see it just did a hot reload? We now have the join and login. And if I clicked on login, we get to login page, which now means that I can actually work on the user stuff without it going live. Which is awesome, I think. I think that was, that was such a revelation when I did that yesterday. It was like, oh, how awesome is that? So the way I've got this working is in SRC, I've got a service in here called featureflag.js. This is what it does. So redirect if feature disabled, you pass in the flag. What it's doing here is it's saying if false is equal to the flag. Now, a frustrating thing from the point of view of JavaScript, and I suppose other languages too, is it converts all of the environment variables to strings. So false is a string of false. I can't have this as a Boolean or a number for that matter, because everything is a string, which is frustrating. But anyway, so this is why in here, it is checking the string false, and then it's also doing type of window. If that is not undefined, then it redirects, because the thing is, when Gatsby is going through the static build, the window, what do you call it, component, the API, the window API of JavaScript isn't available because it's doing the compiling. It's not available at build time. It is available at runtime, not build time, which is why you need to have this check. And then that pushes on to 404. So when we get to, say, pages and then login here, we can do this. Redirect if feature disabled, and you call upon the feature flag like this. So process.env.gatsby_feature_ and then whatever the flag is. Which I'm super happy about. just doing that, writing that single line of code will turn this off. which is exactly what I want. Because once it does go live, once I do all have the user bits and pieces available, then all I have to do is go into production, set that to, well, I'll just remove that line, and then in login, I'll just remove that, and it's live. Which is so cool. So what I would like to do today is I want to create the logout mechanism. I want to add the username to the header menu, and I want to fix that Discord button size. And we'll probably end up doing a whole bunch of other stuff as well. I'll quickly show you the GraphQL, right? If I scroll to here. So the GraphQL stuff. So you can run it in GraphIQL, and you do so through this through here. Okay. So can I make that a little bit bigger? So as I mentioned, all the blog stuff is in Ghost. And then you've got the How to Code Well course, resource category, resource tags. You can get all of them, or you can get single ones. So let's say, for example, we want to get all of the courses. Then I would do node attributes and then title, and then press play on this, and that will get all of the titles for each of the nodes from GraphQL, which I think is, it's quite a nice way of doing it. The actual APIs themselves, they're actually in JSON, the JSON API schema. So, and then sort of converted. I can hear you now. And then converted into GraphQL. I like tea. Right. So, I've gone and that's 100%. Cool. I have a hard-coded username and password that I'm using just for testing. And again, I can get away with doing this because I have the feature flag to prevent this from happening in production. It isn't in production mode yet. Let me talk about that actually before I start doing any code. So the MVP, that's not MVP, let's get rid of that. The MVP is going to be anything that mimics the current site, okay? So if it's in the current site and I think it's justifiable for it to be there, then it needs to go into the new site. So this means that I don't have to do the login stuff and the register stuff for the MVP. So the MVP, the minimum viable product, that's the first ever release of this. And then after the MVP, we'll then work through the user bits and pieces. I've marked a load of stuff as off-stream that I want to do off-stream. I might change my mind on some of them. But I'm thinking that we're actually starting to get very, very close to launch, which I'm quite excited about. And I think what I'll do on launch is I won't make a big song and dance out of it. I'll just quietly launch it. I think what I want to do is make a song and dance out of it in terms of the marketing side of it. Once there's the ability for users to log in and register and do various bits and pieces. But we've got a lot to do before that happens. Okay, so create the logout mechanism. So at the moment, if I go to utils, no, not utils, sorry, services auth, Yes, we have the username Pete and the password of Fubar. These are hard coded. Now, obviously, once this is wired up, this will go to an API, an authorization API. But I need to build that. We also have a logout mechanism here, so that just sets the user to empty and then runs a callback when you pass in a callback here. So where have I done it? In components, in common, in menu, in header menu.js, we have this thing here where it's saying if is logged in and if Gatsby feature flag is true, then display. So if isn't logged in, then display that. I think what I need to do is alter this a little bit. I think what I need to do is have it a little bit more, because if you are logged in, yes, that's correct. Yes, that's correct. This is a nice little fragment there. These two things are the register and login links. All of this, by the way, is Tailwind CSS. That's what I've been using. So these two are these two. I believe that's a Gatsby piece of magic. So like this isn't pure React. This sits on top of React. It gives you a bit of sugar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hello, Tyrannid. Hello, welcome. Welcome. There's too many. I think I need to make this as a component, I think. Yeah, I think this needs to be a component. I think that's gonna be required because there's gonna be like, if you are logged in, then what I would like to do is replace this with the username and a logout button. So there's gonna be two. It's like a switch, I suppose. So I'm gonna create a new component. I'm gonna do one in here. We're going to call this login menu. I'll just change all the things. Let's get rid of all this for a minute. Excuse me, sorry. That's true. I could put it in. That's a good idea. I could also put it into the services in here. I could actually put it in as a thing in there. But I think because I'm just dealing with the UI rather than the actual mechanism of authentication. King Melon never dies. You were Firefox Melon once. Have you evolved like a Pokemon? So I'm going to grab this stuff here and we're going to just bung it in there and it's going to be up here. Then I play with the code, I think. Let me just put it there for reference. Hey! Thank you! Thank you, Waddle. 3 months subscribed. Awesome. Thank you very much. And I've got an emote. Nice. What is that? It's a love snooze. Lovely. How do I put that into the... There must be a way. Hold on. Yes. Yeah, I got love snooze from Waddle. I'm going to spam my own chat with... Thank you. That's so cool. Okay. Oh, that's an interesting question. So yeah, I've been doing Vue. I've got probably 3 or 4 projects on at the moment, which are Vue based, and I'm doing the React stuff as well. Which one do I prefer? So I like both of them. We all know React is garbage. So I really like the way that React can be, you can sort of you can create components in React and you can make it sort of very decoupled from various things. I knew what you meant. So I love that. But then again, I really like the way we can bind things in Vue. I've been doing a lot with the Vue stuff. I've been doing a lot of work on improving content management systems, which are using Vue as the front end and then sort of APIs as the back end. And it's just a joy to work with forms with Vue, and it's a pain to work with forms in React. It's a shame that they're two very different things. So yeah, most of my time spent on Vue has been building forms and binding certain events, and doing sort of like some funky validation and Ajax calls and all of this stuff. So with Vue, you can do like data binding. So you are essentially creating. It's weird because it took me a while to sort of get into it. You're essentially creating a different set of markup, and different attributes in that markup that then binds things to that. So for example, if I was to create a form that had a lot of select boxes in, or radio buttons or something that was being duplicated, I could set all that up in JSON. In my case, it was coming back from an API, and then I could bind that data to the element, which is a different way, I guess, of working here on React. I don't know. I wouldn't say one is better than the other. I think they have their places. It's a different way of doing it. It's like, so you can do that through sort of, through the code, right? But with the inputs of Vue, you can actually put in attributes that you can target various things that happen when the page renders on runtime in the actual HTML input. There's no like render function or creating classes and components like this. Not really. It's more sort of you're very into the markup of HTML. And then afterwards you have a series of methods and things that you can, hooks that, I don't want to use the word hooks, that's a bad word. Hooks is a bad word. you can create various sort of methods that act upon the binds. And you can set a bunch of defaults, and those defaults can interact with the inputs depending on the values that are being set. It's very, very, very nice. It's actually quite a joy to work with. I guess from my experience with it, there's less, there's more functionality you can do within the markup of HTML than there is that you actually have to do in the JavaScript. Right. Yeah. I'll give you an example. I won't open up a project, but yeah. So, like here, you would do v-bind disabled, and then is button disabled. So this will disable it if is button disabled is true. Okay. That becomes, as Tyranids just mentioned, far more readable because that's a single line of code. It says exactly what it's doing. So you're binding the disabled attribute if is button disabled is true. Okay. That's expressions, directives. So yeah, you can also do if statements within the markup. So this is going to show if seen is true. So now you've seen me. You can also have arguments in here as well, and obviously you can have on clicks and events within the markup. It's a completely different beast. There's some shorthand bits and pieces as well, which threw me when I was looking at it, and all the @ symbols and stuff like that. It's like a completely different language in that respect. But it's very, 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 it's very awesome. And here's how you would set data to bind. So here can you see button on V on click counter +1. Okay, so you're setting counter here to 0, and then here every time you click that button, you're setting the variable counter that you've set in data to +1. It's really nice. It's really, really, really nice. A lot of the time I've spent working on the markup rather than in the actual JavaScript. So, hello CS Gaming. We're currently comparing React and Vue. So yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant for content management systems where you've got lots of forms and lots of interactions and stuff like that. If someone was to ask me, should I write a content management system in Vue or should I do that in React, I'd probably go Vue. It does. You're right. Yep. So here you can set different methods. So you can have a greet method here.
Hello, coders.
Hey, IPO ____. Hello. And you can do it in line as well. Yeah. But look, I'm not going to say one is better than the other. Yeah. Comparing React and Vue. It's a controversial subject because there's lots of people who are diehard It's just sidetrack discussions, man. They're always the best ones, right? I completely forgotten what I was doing, but that's all right. Oh, okay. IPO. Fair enough. I'll remember that. Well, at least I'll try to. Anyway, let's move away from this discussion because I can see it getting a little bit. I have to be cautious now because what I'm doing is I'm backing up these streams to YouTube. We have a How to Code Well live YouTube channel. So I don't want to be caught saying that one is better than the other or one can't do such and such, but it can and all this stuff. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Oh, dear. Okay. So. What was I doing? Clip it. Yeah. Okay, so that's the page title. That's okay. I'm just having a noodle about. Okay. All right. So, essentially, what I want to do is if is logged in. Well, first of all, actually, I need to check this is in existence. If that's true, and I'll probably need to put this in a function, I think. Of course you can. Of course you can ask a question. Can I quickly ask a question? Did you learn programming through school, university, or self-taught courses, tutorials, reading? Very good question. Get asked that a lot. So I went to university. In Gloucester here in the UK, and before that I did a HND, which is a Higher National Diploma, and then before that I did a HNC, which is a Higher National Certificate. So I've done all of them, all of the things that you've just mentioned. So I've done university, school, college, and then obviously you only get taught so much at those kind of things, at those kind of institutes. You then have to self-taught, teach yourself. Everybody self-teaches. It's a really weird thing. People expect that you never you know, after you've done university, that's it. It's not. Actually, there's been a lot of stuff I've learned at university, so I'm putting my watch strap on, that just doesn't exist anymore. Like, for example, ActionScript. I did a whole year learning ActionScript. I did a whole year learning Perl and Java. Haven't used any of those in my professional career. Yeah. So the college courses and the university courses, or college courses, I should say, they were a very broad range of subjects. It wasn't just programming. It was a lot of things. Well, the first one was information communication technology. As you can imagine, there's a lot involved there. And then the other one was business information technology. So we did everything from accounting to Excel spreadsheets to programming in VB6. And then in the university, it was web development and e-commerce. So with that, it was, okay, I've chosen that I want to do something on the web. So that's how, so then we're going to narrow that down even further. Yeah, you get an idea. You get an idea. And even to this point, I'm still narrowing down the niche. Oh, right. Does this have to be in? No, it doesn't. I'm just trying to work out something. A minute. Private route. I just want to... I can't remember how I've strung some of this together. This is within the return. Okay. That's why it's looking funky. Okay, gotcha. So, what was that one I was just on? Sometimes I have to sort of... When I'm dealing with lots of things, like different things, I have to sort of go back and have a look at how the things are actually constructed. So we have the constant, and then the name, and then the arguments. Okay, and then the return. Oh, jeez. No, that's still not. Where did that go? Course card. Let's do split screen. And let's take that out. Oops, sorry, not that one. This one. Split screen. That's better. I can see it now. Right. So we need the props. That should be fine. And we might need React. And then it's not a class. It's a constant, which is login menu. And I don't think we need to put any values in here. I don't think. Maybe we do. Maybe we need to put... we need to have the environment variables. That's certainly what we need to do. So if that is false, then we need to return null. Okay, I think. Sorry, I've just seeing the chat go off. Yeah. Yes, I totally get that, Kingmail Alive. Spending money on unrelated topics for the sake of inflating tuition. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I hope that education has got far more better than it was when I was doing it. I mean, it was great, but it was expensive, and I ended up. There was things in there that I learnt that I didn't necessarily need to learn. However, I'm glad I learnt them because I know the difference between. Well, I think even if you learn something and it's not particularly useful straight away directly, it might be useful indirectly. Pupper points. So, by the way, the whole pupper thing. So I've got an English Springer Spaniel puppy, as well as 2 cats. So that's Murphy. That's Murphy's face you can see down there on the pupper points. Sometimes he comes on the stream. No, I think PHP is here to stay, personally. I think PHP is definitely here to stay. IPO. The talk about PHP 8, the advances of PHP 7, totally different. Yeah, I work with it, PHP, pretty much every day. I'm also a Python dev as well, so I'm in both camps. So let's get rid of the return here, or the render. Okay, cool. And I think that's just because of my tabbing. I'm using ESLint to tell me off for things like this. Okay. Excuse me. So I got taught Java at university, and I'm a PHP developer, so yeah. I also did a bit self-teaching to learn C# for fun. just because I was working on something at the time that required it. It's actually really nice. I haven't give me some C# now, I wouldn't be able to understand it. Okay, so that is checking whether or not the feature flag is there. Okay, so if we're hit down here, then we should be good. So which means that I could do put this in here. Obviously not with the comments. Oh no, take those out. Now really what I should be doing, is using the link component rather than just A tags. I don't think I need those. Do I need those? Yes, I do need those. Let's get rid of. Where's my projects gone? Oh, rats. Projects. Thank you. That's what I want. But obviously, as I mentioned, these two buttons here are only for when you are not logged in. So I need to create some sort of conditional here. I could do a check. I could do if is logged in. Now that's going to add that service. Then what we do is we do something completely different, and then we do else. So I could probably put button. It's not going to be a let. It's not going to be a let, but now it's going to be these two. How do I do that on a string? That's not going to work, is it? Because essentially what I need to do is put that up here. It's not going to be, it's going to be const. No, it's not. And then that will replace the else. And this would be your username, and then this would be logout. And that would be called logout. And then this would be button. However, that's not right because it's in the wrong scope. We don't need that at the moment. Thank you. What's wrong there? Oh yes, I don't think I need those yet. Oh, hang on. Bear with. Not keeping up with this chat. Bear with me. Yeah. No. Sorry, IPR. This is mixed conversations. Are you talking about PHP? Thinking that it's only just around because became a standard. Oh, no, I think we're talking about something else. Sorry. Am I using the router? No. Yes. For some of the pages, not all of them. I need to tighten them up, I think. Could you replace those conditionals with use state? I suppose I could. Like button on change equals func would handle that if I could try that. Give me a second. Oh, okay. Sorry. You were talking about PHP. Yeah, man, PHP's been around for ages, and I think it's gonna stick around for a long, long time. I just want to check some. I just want to check something on the Gatsby docs for users. Is this it? Oh, we'll put it there. You are not logged in. Import that. Okay, fine. Authentication service. Creating client-side routes. So yeah, it's using that, and then down here. That's the login private routes. Refactoring new user data. Here we go. So if is logged in. Okay. And then, gotcha. Okay. So I don't actually need to do it within here, do I? I could just do it through that. That would make sense. Yeah, because we're returning null there, which means that nothing's going to come out of this. But what we could do, if the properties are invalid, but what we could do is do the check up here. So is logged in. Much like this bit here. So the state is saved, if that's what you mean. So is logged in, then it's this stuff. Of course, yes. There's no need for me to make this any more overcomplicated than it is. Then you close there. It's a ternary, basically, isn't it? And then you do another set. And this is going to have this stuff up the top here. Okay, so that's if that is logged in. Then if not, that makes sense. Cool. that. Okay. So that's login menu. Login menu, cool. So in here, header menu, we should be able to. I mean, I could, if I wanted to, I could do proper bells and whistles, and just go and put in, what am I talking about? I could actually wrap this in a if condition, and have that as login menu. Whoops. Ow. Don't do that. Can I get rid of those? And have that as an end piece. An end piece. Make it sound like a puzzle. It is a puzzle. Let's tighten this up a little bit. There we go. So that, oops, I should have that as an imported bit here, which means that there's no need for this anymore. So it's going to check whether or not that this is set to true, and if it is, we put in the login menu. I could probably call that something different, like a user menu or profile menu or something. And then we click on to this. This will take us to here, and it will then do another check. That's not really needed, to be honest, but whatever. And then here we are checking whether or not the user is logged in, and if they are logged in, then we if is logged in. So this needs to be the username. So I'm going to just make this up as account. I think that's the. Again, I know I should be using the link component rather than just a plain A tag, and I should do. So that's going to be that. This is going to be profile name. I'll pull this out in a minute. This is going to be the logout. Log out, and I've done it backwards, haven't I? This should be the register and login. Is that the register and login, or did I call it login and register? Join now is register. That's fine, and then this would be login. Cool. So I need to change that. Okay. Groovy. Okay, so they're in. Let's just refresh. Yep, it looks good, looking good. So hitting join now should go to the sign up page, and hitting login should go to the login page. There we go. If I was to log in now with, I think I called it Pete and Fubar. These are the hard-coded things. Click on login. So we go to the dashboard, and that is set in the auth service, I believe, in here. Handle login. Is logged in, log out. Where does that, hang on, I'm just trying to remember, where does that redirect? Is it in the actual login page? Where are we? Login, login, login. Form. No, it's not. It's pages, login. There we go. So redirect if disabled. That's fine. That goes to the login form. And then here, the login form handles the login. So if is so it handles it login by logging in, and then if it is logged in and if there is a browser, then it then moves it to /account. Great. Excellent. However, there's nothing up here. So what's going on here? There's obviously some issue where that isn't being displayed. So this could be well, it's not displaying any of them, so I'm guessing there's a problem with that. Is definitely true, right? That's definitely true. Of course it's true. Yeah, it would be true. Not that one, this one. Yeah, it's true. How weird. Let me just see if I can see any errors in the... No errors in the log. Okay. We're in account, which is in... It might be a problem with the actual page. So in user... That's... No, not there, sorry. In account. In index. So we're running... User layout. Could it be user layout? User layout is... a different layout. And it's importing the header menus from... gotcha. Okay, yeah, I haven't changed this. So beforehand, I had the header menu and the footer menu. Can I see that? Yeah, these look different. That looks different, yeah. I think what I need to do is take a look at the layout, the layout, not the login layout, which is here. So it's actually using the header menus and the footer menus from the current site rather than the NPM versions. So let's go to user layouts. Change these two. And obviously I need to change the path. So where are we at with this? So we're in here. We want to come out of there and we want to go into menu. So is that it? No, menu cannot resolve that directory. Okay, it's in is it in common? Yes, it's in common, then menu, then header menu. Okay, so that's where we need to be. And they should be called header menu and footer menu the same. So there we go. Sorry, I just shouted that down the microphone. I do apologise. Woken you all up. But there we go. There's the log out and the profile things, and this is slightly different too. Okay, cool. So the next thing I need to do is sort out the profile name. That's what we're going to do. I'll just do that. I'll do that. I need to grab some tea, actually. I'm going to grab some tea, and so a cup of tea, by the way, not my dinner, my tea. And then when I come back, I want to talk about a couple of things. The streaming schedule is going to change, and I want to talk about why that is in a few minutes. So bear with me a minute whilst I just grab a cup of tea, and I will see you soon. Hello. Where's the button? There's the button. Good. I just saw the Oreo cake that my wife has made. It's epic. Cannot wait to start eating that. So by the way, I forgot to mention, if you click on the, you see on the Pupper Points, HTC WP Pupper Points, if you actually click on that, you can unlock various different things from Twitch. Like, for example, you can highlight the message and you can unlock random emotes on here. And there's other bits and pieces too. Like you can modify emotes and you can choose other emotes to unlock. But the lowest one, number 50, you can highlight your message. So if you want to ask me a question, and I haven't got to it yet, because I just haven't seen it in the chat, you can highlight it and put it in a color. Okay. Just ran up the stairs. I'm not as fit as I used to be. So, let's change this to be the name of the user that I've logged into. So in this case, it would be Pete. Now, I will be changing a lot of this to use a to have a better mechanism, and there'll be like the JWTs that I'll be using for authentication and other bits and pieces too. I'm just using this as a sort of a trial run, I suppose. I mean, you shouldn't do this. This is hard coding, but just to get it up and running. So you can run get user, and that's going to get the user that's coming out of local storage, which will return this JSON object. So I will do that in menu, login menu, and it's at this point here. So I need to do const user is equal to get user, and down here we would have user dot and I just need to double check what that was, what its next thing was, which is auth.js. It is username. So there we go. It's now Pete. Awesome. Good. I don't think I've wired up the logout. If we click logout on here, it goes to a logout page, but it doesn't log out. So we're going to create a logout page. And this logout page is going to log you out. It's going to do other things. I mean, the reason why I'm creating it as a page is it's going to do other things, not just log out and redirect. I guess what I could do in the login menu, I could create an on-click event that goes to log out, but I want this to do other things, not just yeah, I want it to fire off like API calls and other things like that. So I think a page is required. And I might eventually have like a message on here as an actual page. Let's get rid of all that. Don't need all that junk. Redirect if feature is disabled. Yeah, okay. And then, so that is going to be let me think about this. Yeah, grab that and go to logouts, put that into there, change that to redirect to login, and also we need to do auth.js, which is one of these things. Here we go, auth.js, and there is a logout mechanism with a callback. You know what? Actually, I don't need to have a page just for this. This is silly. Don't need to do that. Let's not overcomplicate this. It's just the button. And if I call logout, I can have a callback, which then redirects to the login page again. So, that being said, let's go to menu login. So this logout is actually going to be a button rather than a link. With an on-click event. I don't need that. And that on-click event is going to be handle. Well, could I call logout and then pass in a callback? Do I even need a callback? Let me think. Do I need a callback? I don't think I do. Because we're logging it out, and then what we're doing is we want to essentially do this. So now obviously once I have this implemented with the APIs, it's going to be doing a little bit more than just that, but you know, for now I think we can get away with that. So with the header menu, with the login menu here, that's calling logout. Okay, so yeah, I don't want to go to well, so I did Pete and then foobar. Oh, hang on. Oh, hang on. That's not, something's not right here. Am I getting any errors? Am I using the right credentials? Auth. That's weird. It's now not allowing me to log in. Login menu. If is logged in and is browser, then go to account. So if I go to account, am I logged out? if I go to account here, index, it's doing a check, and that check is saying if the URL is here, that's fine. If it's not logged in, and the URL attempting to redirect, and then that goes back to login. I'm wondering if I've got myself in a recursive loop. Worse things have happened. Attempting to redirect. So that would be in the logs, right? Which it's not. We've got attempting to create pages. I'm going to just clear this down. Clean it down. Yeah, I am doing a login, a console log at this point, and in there. Oh, that was too hot. Ooh. Okay. It should be reported to here, but that's a good point. Let's see if that goes into there. So, no, it doesn't actually appear to have. Yeah, too hidden. That's something wrong with the manifest, that's okay. So it doesn't appear to have got to this point. Okay, let's see if on the login let's walk through it. So on submit we do handle login. Handle login is at this point. Console.debug. Passing in the username and the password. Oh, that's interesting. Did you see that? It kind of like flickered a bit then. We did. I think it's redirecting. Yes, but I believe it's redirecting. I think it's to do with the. And it's because I've done. So there's no redirections here. Get user. That's not set user. That's get user. So that's fine. Get user is fine there. Is logged in. Log out. So this is the only thing it does the redirection. I'm going to just cancel that a minute. How strange. That was literally working like at the start of this stream, and it's decided against it. Okay, let's stop that from redirecting, and then let's do console dot debug. Attempting to redirect to account. Okay. I think this is because of the backticks. Yeah. All right. So I've now killed the redirection. I was kind of half expecting to see something in the vlog. What? Why? This is weird. Is there anything coming out here? No. Super weird. Okay, I'm really confused. That should have gone through. "28 hidden." Oh wow, yes I do, don't I? Selected contents. How do I don't want to hide the network. I don't want to. How do I unhide that? There we go. I suppose I need to have these on. Right, there we go. Attempting to redirect to account Pete and Fubar. Okay, gosh, seriously, mate. God, dear. Call yourself a web developer. All right, so input elements should have autocomplete attributes suggested. Oh, that's fine. What are these 9? These are XHR stuff. That's okay. That's okay. That's nothing crazy. Hit login. It did some fancy redirect then. So let's not redirect. So that was redirecting to the account, /account, which is in here. So at this point it was doing the check. So let's untick that for a minute. Login. Okay, now we're at the dashboard and now it goes back to the login again. Something is a bit weird. I've just removed that redirect. On submit. Attempting to redirect to the account. Window.location. Okay, let's cancel that out for a minute. Let's start it. Okay, cool. So at this point, it's fine. We've got the username and password, and we're attempting to redirect to the account. Good. Okay, so we go ahead and do that. So that goes to /account, which is in accounts index. At this point, it's not because... So, you got the user layout here. The user layout has the header menu. The header menu has the login menu. And the login menu returns null if that is false, which it isn't. And then here we do a get user. Get user is this thing here, which just gets the user. That's fine, just gets it out of local storage. Nothing wrong there. So, oops, sorry. Jumping around here. Login. Header menu, login menu. There we go. We have a logout that's called onClick. Now, logout would redirect you back to the login page. That's the only thing I can think of that is causing this to break. But it's not. It's on and on click. I'm just gonna remove that. Just to. Yeah, I'll remove that, and then if this still doesn't work, I'll remove the actual menu itself. So, okay, let's hit login again. Okay, that's a little strange. It was the onClick event. How weird. I wonder. Oh, hang on a minute. When this builds, it is actually running these methods, I think. And yeah. I'm just reading the docs for handling events in React. So we don't use the method parentheses if you don't need to. Okay, fine. Another difference is that you cannot return false to prevent default behavior. In React, you must call prevent default explicitly. For example, with plain HTML, you would do this. In React, though, you would do that. So, and again, this is the mentioning the differences between Vue and React here. You can see the extra work is involved. I think what I need to do. Well, first up, we don't need that. All right, that's the first thing. do I build a function just to have a function? I mean, come on. I mean, essentially it would be like this, right? Const is equal to, const handle logout. I don't want to be doing this, but it would be like this. Const is equals This is so backwards. This is so backwards. Really? Okay, let's see if that works. And I know that that would be like just a tiny in view. So hit log out. We go back to the login page. We go to the login page. We log in. Really? Really? You want me to put a function in a function? Okay. I love JavaScript. Right. Let's get serious for a minute. Serious. So I've got some. I'll go into this mode a minute. Boom. Hello. So I've got some news. Next week, I shan't be streaming on Sunday. So I will be streaming on Tuesday as normal and Thursday as normal, but on Sunday I shan't. The reason why is because I have a poorly nan. My grandma is very ill, and she has dementia. She is extremely old, and I shan't be streaming next weekend because visiting and all of that stuff, and also when on the week of her funeral I will not be streaming either. I think that's quite understandable.
Hello, coders.
Hello, Bergamov Alex. Is that the right Bergamov Alex? I just saying that there will be a slight alteration to the stream schedule. Definitely next Sunday. So I won't be here next Sunday, and whenever things happen, I will be taking at least a week off. And when I mean taking off from streaming, I'm also mean I'm going to not be doing any YouTube. I'm not going to do any podcasts. I'm not going to do anything How to Code Well wise during that period of time. So, and of course, you don't know when these things are going to happen. She's got very late dementia, and it's not looking great. It's not looking great. So, she's in that sort of period of life. She's been cared for in a home and things. So, yeah, when the inevitable happens, I shan't be around, because I don't think that I'll be in the right headspace to even consider React and Vue. I hope that is okay. I just think that I'm going to need some time off from this. And streaming is weird, because it's like, you know, this thing that I do here, there's this yeah, really. That's cool. Is that me going? Fair enough. Yeah. So this what I'm saying is, this thing I do, the How to Code Well stuff, there is an element of learning. Obviously there's a big element of learning and all this, but there's also an element of being sort of an entertainer, because, you know, it's a stream, people are watching you, and they expect you to be in the same frame of mind as you were in last time. And I think when things like this in life happen, you can't get into that groove. So I unfortunately can't say when I will be off, but I will be off, and it will be at least a week. So what I'll do is I'll let everybody know on the Discord server. I mentioned it the other evening about my grandma being ill, and I mentioned that there will be some time off. But what I'll do is I'll keep everybody updated on the Discord server, and I'll probably put out a message on Twitter as well, just saying that I'm going to be, you know, not around for a while. But I think that's good. I want to give myself a bit of time. I think that's my nan deserves that. So I'm gonna do that. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say. Sorry, it's not the happy upbeat stuff, but it's life. It's life, you know. So, thank you very much for sharing that the Discord link as well, Tyranid. I do appreciate that. Let's get back to it. So we've got the username here, that's gone in, and we've got the logout button now. Woohoo! I just want to double check. Oh, hang on a minute. What's this about? Unexpected token. E. Oh. Oh. Is it that? Rebuild. Tell you what, let's just rebuild the whole thing. I want to make sure that this isn't even a piece of functionality when it's turned off. So we'll just quickly do that. But I just want to make sure that this error is removed. And what is this undefined thing complaining about? That's a console log. That is... in project. Yes, I think that's... Yes, I've changed these, haven't I? So this is Gatsby. This one here. Gatsby feature flag. Users. It's in. I've totally forgotten where that's gone. Find in path. In project. It's in the config, of course it is. So that would be Gatsby users. And that would be... That's fine. There was also another one. So we'll do users feature equals, and we'll do pricing feature equals, okay, let's just, that should be pricing. Gatsby pricing, there we go. So let's just make sure that that is correct. Let's, oh yeah, they are in there. User feature is true, pricing feature is true. Scroll up. We've got a bunch of these attempting to create page warnings, but they've already happened already. That's fine. Good. All right. Let's Rylex, you're not supposed to say those kind of things. You can't just forget. Oh. So what was I doing? Oh man, right. So, seriously, what was I doing? I was dude. Oh yes, I wanted to do the logout, and if that comes out with an error, which isn't, then it's all good. Yay! Okay, good. Let's now turn this feature off. So we go down to the development mode, we turn that off to false, and then we come out of here. We're going to have to do a clean, and then we do a develop again. Thank you everybody, by the way, for joining the Discord server. We've had an influx of people joining recently, which has been fantastic. It's been awesome. It's been great. Lots of really interesting questions as well. Like we had a conversation. Yeah, there we go. Now I've gone to 404. So if I did log in, that should be 404. If I did /account. Oh, that's not allowed. No. A, it's not checking that I'm logged in, and B, I shouldn't even be there because it's been turned off. So that's a issue. I think I'm going to need to put these in as tests, really, aren't I? So in index, we need to put in the check again. That's what we need to do. And we also need to check whether or not we do redirect if disabled, passing in the flag of process dot node. I think is it node? No. Is it node? No, node. It's not. Is it? I've totally forgotten what it is. env. Of course it is. .env .gatsby feature users. Okay, so there we go. It's now redirected to can't be found. Let's just comment that out a minute. Does it still go to can't? No, hang on. That should. Okay, cool. Let's remove the check and refresh. I think that's because it knows that I'm logged out. Let's do it. I'm just going to do a quick rebuild again. Not that quick. Clean that down. No worries, Tyranid. Have a great day. No worries. Thank you very much for joining. I do appreciate it. Thank you. Have an awesome day. eat lots of cake. That's what I'm going to do. I've got loads of cake downstairs to eat. My wife's been baking. I can't believe she turned up with 7 Oreo, what would you call that, biscuit, sets of biscuits of Oreos. We worked out that she put 42 Oreos in just the base of this cake. I'm going to be on a sugar high. Right. Let's go to accounts. There we go. Good. Good. Groovy. Okay, we don't need these two. Let's tidy this up a little bit. Okay, let's turn this back on. So where that would be down in here. Set that back to true. I think I might have to, yeah, I'm gonna have to rebuild it. So I mentioned that I'm doing a lot of Vue, in the freelance world, and I've noticed over the few years that sites that are very complex are actually being used, actually being converted into JavaScript, as in the front end type thing. It's quite fascinating. So it never used to be like that. Content management systems are now, or JavaScript is now being considered as a language to use to build highly complicated projects, and also highly secure projects too. There's a lot of challenges involved with using a client-sided application, client-sided language, as you would for, as a replacement of PHP. But then it also offers you an awful lot of different exposure points to other things, like, for example, static site generation. Yes, you can do it in PHP. So there's Silex. This is what the podcast site is built in, Silex. But you then have an extra barrier of entry to learn PHP in order to build a website. You could just do it in a client-sided thing, such as JavaScript. Rylex is asking, have I done... now, I always pronounce this wrong. N-U-X-T, Nuxt. No, I haven't. I haven't done any of that. Nope. And to be honest, I haven't done a lot of Vue. I mean, I've been working on Vue for the past, say, 6 months. So I don't know it well enough to sort of say that I know it, if that makes sense. I know more React, I feel. No, that's probably wrong. I'm more comfortable with React than I am with Vue. However, the things I've seen with Vue, I love. So, yeah. Where's the music gone? I've also used Alloy.js because I used to build mobile applications, and we used Alloy.js and even Angular, and we used a system called Appcelerator, which would compile down the code to native languages such as Xcode and Android. And we used a framework called Alloy.js for that, which is what was part of Titanium, or you could use it with Titanium. Cool. So that's done. Add username to header menu. Yes, that's done as well. Adjust the Discord button sizes. Let's take a look at those. So, click on Discord. Yeah, look at those. That's not good. That's not good one bit. So let's see if we can play with those. This is in. These things. I believe it's because it's using text XL, and I don't think I should be doing that. Let's get rid of those. So there we go. That's better. Yeah, I thought it was that. So this is Tailwind CSS, all of these things. Tailwind is great. It's a nice utility framework for CSS. Oops. So they should all now, join up. Cool. Okay. So, courses. Let's go over to here and put that into there. I'm going to create another task because I've noticed that we're using the same title. I need to change the titles. So I'll put myself a task down for that. Now I could get really anal and put down a task for every page title, but that's going to be silly. So I think I'm going to do add adjust page titles for let's do four course pages. Okay, and then what I'll do is adjust page titles for main navigation pages. Oops. We'll do the main navigation pages first, I think, because there's a little bit of dynamicness for the other ones. So let's have a look. So that's the home page. Now that's going to be running from probably the config in here. So let's put in it's Ghost Gatsby Starter. Okay, I reckon that's coming from GraphQL actually. Let's click on one of these. Let's go to courses. That's still Ghost Gatsby Starter. I'm just trying to look for where it's been set. Name is pages. No, that's not it. Site meta, site URL, config. Here we go. Siteconfig.js. And where does that live? That lives in src utils. Site config. So we'll change that to be how to code well. That's the default. So there we go, how to code well. How to code well, how to code well, that doesn't make sense. So there's something going on there with the title being added with this bit here. So let's see, where does that go? If we pick a page, say the index, scroll up, so we have running off of layout. I'll get rid of that. I'll get rid of that. These aren't required. Rilex is asking, what's the best language to switch from PHP if you hate everything about JavaScript? Straight to the point. I like it. I would probably say Python. Yeah, I reckon Python. Python is a really nice language to learn. Yeah, do that. Okay, so that's rendering the default language. Children. Static query, yeah, okay, fine. But where is it getting the... I'm sure I've seen meta in here. Export default as from... I'm sure I've seen... Title. This is an article meta. It's not technically an article meta though, is it? Metadata. Okay, so I like Flask. Flask is a fantastic framework for Python. Really, really nice, and yeah, very nice to use. Let me see if I can show you. I prefer Flask over Django. I have a tutorial series on it, so I am a bit biased. So this is Flask, right? Okay, so here is your routing, so /, that's your controller, so the controller is hello, and that is the output. So you pass in a name, so this is request.args.get. Okay, so this is getting the name, and then you can then escape that, so it's hello, and then you pass in the name. If you don't pass in the name, then it defaults to world. I mean, that just looks beautiful. So you import Flask, you import the request and escape, you set up the application, and yeah, it's all good. It is, yeah. And you can, yeah, so you just do environment variable, you set the actual starting point, which in this case is this one little file. It's great for building little APIs. In fact, yeah, I don't want to come across as a salesman, but I have done a course for Pact called microservices in Python, and I use Flask to create the microservices. I think it's a fantastic little thing. I mean, come on, how many lines is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's defining the root, that's defining the controller, and it's defining the return. Really nice. Really, really nice. Okay, so where on earth is this set? I'm getting a little bit. Header menu. Isn't this got nothing to do with the header menu? I'm getting a bit confused as to where it would be. It's not there. Website meta. If I go to the index page, there's no meta here. So I would expect it to be have a meta, component. So I mean, it looks like it's just dealing with the default. If I go to, say, if I if I had a look at the templates for the post. So here we've got metadata, location, and article. Metadata at this point is components common meta, which is index.js here. And then we're saying export default as metadata from metadata, which would be there. Okay. So we're passing in data, settings, title, description, image, and location. If a ghost page then return article meta. Else if it's a ghost tag, then we return website meta. Else if it's a ghost author, then we return author meta. If a ghost page, then we return website meta. Else, this is where the defaults are coming in. We return this. I think this is what I need to alter. Yeah. So let's take a look. I've got post here. Let's grab this on index here. Sorry, not there. In index in pages. Index here. So I can pass in a type. Whoop, sorry. I can pass in a type. So the type doesn't seem to be set here. Settings. Let's get rid of some of this stuff, shall we? I want that. Okay. Okay, so we're passing in data, which is data from there. I'll probably have to change that. Location as well. We're also passing in type, but I can't see type being defined. So let's grab... Technically, it's website meta. That's what it is, I think. I wonder if I can just call that. Let's try it. exported. It's meta query. Type is web page, main entity of page. So does that mean I need to change that to that one? Else. Maybe I just don't give it a type and it's just gonna go, oh, okay. So these are defined here is equal to data. Let's just save it and see what happens. Oops, that's the wrong one. So that's courses. How to code well, how to code well. And scroll down here. Nope, not there though, sorry. Website meta. Let's just do a console in here. What have I got? Is that even the thing? Is that even the thing? Website meta. Yeah, so we are in there. I thought so. Thought so. So what are the things that I can change? Settings, title. So I could do title is equal to learn how to code well. There we go, learn how to code well. Like it. Okay. Then we have the description that we could pass in, and an image. Okay. But essentially, I need to do this for the other pages as well. So let's go to project. So that's the index page. The Discord page, we can get rid of that now. I don't need that. Okay. Get rid of that. We've got location. So this is join the coding community. So if we click on to Discord now, join the coding community. Nice. Let's close that down. Okay. And then we've got the logout stuff. So if we click logout now and then click forgotten password, that needs to be changed. Is forgotpassword.js. Reset your password. Come on, change. Reset your password. Okay, we've done the index. We should do a 404. Okay, so to mimic the 404, we can do 404.html. can't read path name of undefined. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I can't do that for 404. Okay, I think what I'll do is I will add a task to here. Add page title. I mean, it's not terrible. 444. If I don't have it for 404 page at this stage of the game. Okay, so we've done Discord, we've done forgotten password, we've done index. Now let's do live streams. Watch. Or let's just do live coding. Live coding. And that will be, hopefully, in there. Now, this should be, hopefully, me. Yay! Inception there. So it says live coding at the top there. So cool, I'll close that down. Oh, I've just literally closed down the silly. Sorry. Right, so I've done live. Okay, done Discord. Pricing I will do too. Now, this I think is turned off. But okay, cool. Groovy, that's done. How to code well, portal. Has that done? No, I don't think that has done. I'm looking at the wrong tab. That's why I was looking over there. Looking here. Sorry. Pricing. Here we go. Discord. Live. Okay. Courses now. Oh, and also register. Let's do register. And login. Need to do login. Log into your account. And then register. That needs to be set as backticks. So this is register. And start learning to code. Boom. Okay. So join now. If you click on that, that should now be how to code well. No, that's not right. Login. Log into your account and join now. How to code. That's strange. Register. Why is that? Join now. Login. That's weird. It hasn't even. That's so weird. Why is that? Something's not right. Something isn't right here. Log in. Join now. How to code well. That's the default. So what's going on? What's going on? What's happening? It's not because I'm passing in the location, is it? Yes, probably. Is register like some sort of reserved thing for Ghost? Maybe that could be it. Okay, let's walk this through. So metadata. We want to be here. think. If ghost page, then else if ghost tag, if ghost author, else if ghost page. Hey, that doesn't even make sense. If ghost page. Else. There we go. Sorry, we want to be down here, of course. So let's do console.debug, and then in here say default page. All right. And then in here, I know, I should use backticks. In here we have ghost page. I reckon it's a ghost page. Oh no, it's a default page. Default page. It's a default page, okay. So in register then, why isn't it? Oh, because there's a metadata down there. Gosh, I didn't see that. I had two metadata components, and the second one was overriding that. So there we are, register and start learning to code. Silly me. All right, so let's just click through this. So we've got already have account. Click login. That should go log into your account. Click on forgotten password. That should be reset your password. Click on login. That goes to login. There we go. Okay, good. Is that all of the main pages? No, because I haven't done the courses or the resources. Now the resources will go to a 404. I need to put that in books. So that is in templates now. Resources. Pass that in. So this is coding resources. This is recommended. Can't spell recommended. Recommended. Too many M's. Recommended coding resources. Coding resources. Okay. Why is that red? There's a ESLint thing. Okay, that's just a tabbing issue. Fine. We can get rid of that too. Okay, so that should be recommended coding resources. Yes. Good, good, good. Okay, moving on to... Okay, all those things. Now moving on to the courses themselves, which is in here. If I clicked on courses, we get just how to code well, how to code well. So I need to change that. Change the title to be coding courses. Coding courses, sweet. Now the ones that are dynamic will be these three. Okay, so what I would like to have is the name of the course in the title. So we're going to copy that. Click on, say, this one, for instance, and that will be in this template. Now, do we have the name of the course? Current tutorial, that's the number. Then we have do we have the name of the course? Results.attributes.tutorials. That's going to get the tutorials. That is the current tutorial. Fine. That is the How to Code Well course result. Result.attributes.tutorials. I'm going to have to look at GraphQL for this. Sorry. I can't remember what I've done. So, in here, it is, well, that's on all of them. We don't want that. We want to do How to Code Well course. We want to do Attributes. Is it title? Run that. Okay, so that would be attributes and title. So this, therefore, should be result dot attributes. I can't spell attributes. Dot title. Let's see. Has that changed? I can't find the thing now. Linux Bash for beginners. Yes, it has changed. Awesome. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. So let's go back to courses. That should be Docker and Docker for beginners. And change this. This should be PHP command line. Oops, sorry. Hitting the microphone. Great. Okay. That was easier than I thought. That was easier than I thought. Things like the blog, right? So that will be that will also need to change. But I don't think the blog posts themselves need to. Let me just see. That needs to be in prop types, and it isn't. So that would be web development thoughts. Change. There we go. Good. Okay, and then each one of these should be the name, because this is done through GraphQL. Sorry, Ghost. These particular pages. Excellent. Excellent. I'm really happy with that. That's good. So let's go to well, I've done an awful lot of work here without committing it, which is naughty of me. I shouldn't have done that. Very, very bad of me. I should not have done that. Not at all. So I'm going to just do a git commit. Gosh, look at all that change. We're definitely not going to commit that. That's a no-no. So, added login, logout. Added menu. What else? Added menu? No, added profile name to logged in menu, and then we also did. Really, I should do these as separate commits, to be honest, because they're separate things. Added title, added page titles. Cool. I want to ignore this file. So in git ignore, we're going to ignore .env.production. Prodvars. Cool. All right. And then we go over to here, and I will say that's done. That's done. And that isn't done. Not yet. How? Let's just go back to that. How would that work? So that would be in pages 404.js. And the problem we had was we couldn't. It was failing because the location wasn't being passed. But I don't think we have a location to give it. Join the coding community. Oh, no, that did work. It did work. So this is page not found. Come on, change it. Page not found. There we go. There we go. So that is done. Tell you what we need to do. We need to do all of this stuff for the user accounts. Let's do that. So we go over to here, push this over there. I'm going to create a new issue. Add page titles for user account pages. Okay, so we obviously need to log in, pass in the details, and then so this would be foo bar login. I won't be letting foo bar be a password when it goes to production. Okay, so this isn't right. So let's do accounts index. Well, we need to copy that, and we need to replace this. This is going to be my accounts. Change. There we go. Okay, so the dashboard is here. My profile needs to be there. So we got my account. We've got my profile. Let's get rid of that one. Change, please. My profile. And my courses. Brilliant. And that should change hopefully to my courses. Please. Please change. Please change. Change the title. Oh, title, please change. Why hasn't that changed? Why hasn't that changed? Oh, because I've got the meta in it. Now change. Thank you. My courses. And then security goes, gets replaced here. So my security. Change. So security here. My security. Ooh, I've got a login button, log out button here. Do I need that? No. Let's get rid of that because we've got one there, so that can go. So this is in user menu. So I tell you what. Let's just commit this first. So adding. Adding page titles to account pages. Marvelous. And then get rid of that login thing. So in courses here, you say the user layout has a menu profile, which needs some TLC, I think. But down here, we should have a logout, so that can go. All of that can go. Bye-bye. Okay. Cool. I want to change the color of all of this because it doesn't look great, does it? It's very sort of in-your-face, garish type stuff. If we went to, say, the menu, the homepage, we have this background color, and I think I want to keep that for consistency's sake. Excuse me. So let's do that now. We're in the course. We need to go to user layout, and we want to change. What do we want to change? Is this running off of a class name? That's not right. That's not right. I think this is because I did this after I decided that I would use Tailwind. So I've got some styles here. No. Okay, it's just a redundant CSS. That's just redundant. That class name is just useless. What about this one? Yeah, doesn't do anything. Doesn't do anything. What about this one? Doesn't do anything either. Dear oh me. Dear, 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 dear. So why is this not the right color? Well, this is the menu. Let's get rid of that one. This is the menu, and then this is the actual page. So the background gray 100 is the thing that's causing that color, I think. So if we go over to components layout, the actual layout of the actual other pages, common layout here. Scroll to the top. We have main gray, text gray. No, that's not it. That's not it either. Page container. That's not. Unless I've done it per page. Oh, maybe I have. That's a bit annoying if I've done it like that. I should have done that. Index.js. Index.js. P8. That's the page title. So it's above this. So it would be in layout. But it's page container. Unless I've called this unless I've gone and why is right, okay. That's not I'm not getting anywhere with that. Let's go view dev tools, developer tools. Background gray 100. Let's change that to say 600. Okay, all right, okay. So that is the left-hand side. That's the right-hand side. We've got a container, and in that container we have that. I don't understand why there is a white block. BG Gray 100. Okay, right, I see. I've screwed it up. I've screwed it up. So the pages are wrong. In here, in user layout, well, first of all, there's too many divs that aren't doing anything, which is silly. And also, we've got this ridiculousness going on here. We've got this ridiculous going on here, there as well. Also, why? That's not even required. Let's tinker with it. There we go. Yep. So that's now going into the children, but we don't need that. That's redundant. It's a redundant div. And you could argue that we don't actually need the main here either as well. Let's yeah. Let's get rid of that. Let's put the class on here. Get rid of that. So it's that we want to get rid of. And then, so header menu, main, div, 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 div. Get rid of that div. And then div. No, that's not right. Okay, and then in here we can do. Oh, I see why I did this as a div down here, because you need to do a div class name, and then at this point we do PL4, or actually you just do P4, because not 44, P4, because this is now the block that needs the padding within this. There we go. Yeah. Again, it's gone white mind. So let's take that out. Yep. Cool. So is that the same? Yeah, it is. So that is technically a page title. So if we go into, well, let's just tidy that up. Fix ESLint problems, please. Okay, I'll do it myself. Oh, fair enough. It's all a bit fragile. Okay, so that's that, and then this becomes the page title, this bit here. So in here, where we got this one H1 here, we want to do. You want to take that out. Page title, and the title is my dashboard. Dashboard. Refresh. Come on. My dashboard. And why is that not text center? That should be text. White. Also, why is that a different color? That's not right. This whole thing here, that's not correct. That would be, and there's a padding problem there. I kind of want this to be the full left-hand side. So let's tackle that. Page title, that's fine. Index. User layout. That would be in the menu profile, and it would be set, I think. Unless it isn't in there. Unless it's set. Yeah, here we go. So let's get rid of that and that. Okay, so we're going to have to change the color to BG. How to go well. Thank you. And then, excuse me, and then, that doesn't even make sense. Oh, border right 4. Border gray. Let's change that to border 200. Or let's change that to 2. Make that smaller. And also, in the actual menu itself, I would like borders here to be 200. Is that going to change? Border grey. So border BG, border grey 200. Ah, okay, let's get rid of this. I don't know why I'm changing it on the, there we go. And this should also be border 1. It should just be border B. There we go. Okay, good. And let's see if we can make that a little bit darker. Let's do 300. 400. 500. Not quite. 600. That's better, isn't it? Let's just go 7, just to see. Ooh, I like that. Subtle. Okay. Also, I want to change in the wrong button there. Change that to be the same. So that's 700. And also, just take away this whole, the whole need for responsiveness. That's not. That's fine. Don't need that. Ooh, border grey 700. Cool. Let's go. Whoops. 6. Okay, that's fine. And then what I can do is in the menu change this to be 600. I think that's right. Yeah. All right. So. Oh, no. I've changed the wrong one. It's this one to be 600. There we go. So it's the same color as that, but different to this. Okay. So we need to change this to be 600. Take away all of that. That to be 600. And take that away. And that to be 600. And take that away. There we go. Oh, and also remove that and that and that. Okay. And also I want this to be white, not it's like a weird color, isn't it? It's not really white, is it? It's more like a, well, text gray. That's, there we go. So this should be text white. Whoops, sorry. Text white. There we go, text white. It's almost like a minty grey, isn't it? Oops, what have I done there? That's not, oh. There we go. Right. Ideally, I want them to be pink when you hover over them, not just white. So, and also, again, why am I doing this? Why am I changing the styling of the colors when it's responsive? Do not need to do that. That's ridiculous. Okay, so what I need to do then is I need to, on hover, hover. I need a hover state. Hover text pink, 500. And it hasn't done that. Do I need to take that off and put that into here? Well, no, because that's... That is right. Aha, there we go. Aha. Okay, we take out all the colours from the actual eye. Or the span, sorry, not the eye, the span. Right, and then what we do is we change this to be Text white. I'm overriding. This is the problem. There's a lot of things being overwritten here. Not the best. There we go. So that should be pink now. Yay. Cool. Okay. Do I need to have this line down here? Don't know. Don't think. Thing is, I don't have a line there, and less is more. So let's see. Can I? Well, first of all, let's tidy up the. It doesn't do it all the time, does it? I want to fix the ESLint problems, and it's not. It's because there's an indent. Oh, I'm getting very annoyed with this ESLint thing. I know it's a good thing to have, but it's just too annoying. I don't like to have all the red stuff on my screen. Anyway, let's see if we can get rid of this line, because it's not required. Where would that be? That would be in there. There we go. I think that looks better. It's more subtle. Okay, that's dashboard. Go to profile. All right. My courses. All right, so I do need to change. So if we go to the index here, I love the fact that I can work on this and not be worried about this as a, I can roll this feature out and turn it off. So that's my courses. So click on my courses. There we go. And also click on profile itself. So that's my profile. That should go in the middle now. My profile, awesome. And then security, that should be my security. Right, I also want to change this to be a different color. So if I went to log out, for example, you can see that it's this sort of color, this shade. So let's log in again. Okay, so on it's in my profile, and also security. These are the two things here. So what I want to do is take a look at the forms. So let's see. Form. Forgotten password. No. Well, yes. We'll have a look at login. It's BG how to code well. There we go. That's what I need. Hey, Murphy has just entered the office with a ball in his mouth. Hello. Hey, Chief. Do you guys want to see Murphy? Hello. I'll show you Murphy, shall I? This screen. Murphy. Off you go, mate. That's my English Springer Spaniel. Hello, buddy. Hello. He's probably wondering where I am. Or, yeah. Good boy. Good boy. That's why it says Pupper points, right? On the chat, because Murphy, we've got on the Discord server, we've got a dev pets channel. Off you go, mate. We've got a Dev Pets channel. Murphy is on there quite a bit. Oh, bless him. It's alright, there's someone else in the house looking after him. Alright, I haven't just abandoned my dog. So, I wanted to change the color of these forms, didn't I? Yeah, so it was the profile form. That's BG White. I need to change that to be BG How to Code Well, which is, by the way, the How to Code Well color. It's a custom Tailwind thing. You can see that's now changed, but I want to change obviously I need to change the colors of the actual text, which is here. So where he says text black, this needs to be text white. Those two. Brilliant. And this needs to have a hover state. And I think yes, the hover state goes to a darker grey with the white text. Yeah. So we need to have on here. Actually, I think I might be able to copy. He's coming again. I think I might be able to copy this one here. Hover text pink. No, actually. Is that it? Hover grey. Hover text. There we go. Hover. I'm a bit confused because why is that saying text pink? He's now lying by my feet. Bless him. Text white. Interesting. Anyway, that's what I needed. So in profile, I love the way that he just comes to look for me. It's nice. Okay, so that does need to be white. Can I just not bother with it because it is white to begin with? Yeah, there we go. Good. Okay, I need to do the similar thing for the other forms. So we're going to copy that and do it on we've done it on the security form. That's what I need. So that's BG How to Code Well. And then this here, chewing on my on my feet. Good boy. Bless him. Yeah, it's this. This needs to be text white. Yeah, text white. And it is, we then go back to here and we copy the hover state. I'll be down in a minute, mate. So security now should be, oh no, that needs to be text white. It's text black. There we go, text white, there we go. And then that should hopefully change. Yes, it does. Marvelous. It's coming together, you know. This is now coming together a little bit better, I think. One thing I want to just dabble with is with the user layout here. We've got this set to P4. I want to just change that to P8 and see if we can make it a little bit tighter. I don't want to change this though, so I think we'll do PR and PL. So padding right, padding left, 8. Not sure. Try 10. I just want to make it a little bit more tighter. Oops, that should be 10. Okay, let's see if we can get rid of this thing here. What's going on there? That's a footer PT. That shouldn't be there. No, that wasn't it. PX M2 margin 2. That's on there. Footer menu itself has a padding top of 4. No, that's not it. Okay, what's causing that? Something's causing that. Oh, that's completely jumped now. Weird. Okay, there is definitely on there. There is definitely a margin top and a padding top. Okay. Main doesn't have anything. So it's on the footer. It's on the actual footer. So user layout. Footer menu. Unless I've no. Alright, let's get rid of that for a minute. There we go. It's all gone down. Cool. I like that. Oh yeah, I think that's quite nice. I don't know why it's this tall though. Let me see. I think that's because something's going on with a header screen here. There we go. Let's get rid of that. Ooh, I've broken that. What about height 16? There we go. But there's a problem going on here. Yeah, that's not really what I wanted to do. If I compare this to, so this is user layout, so let's compare this to, you know, layout, which is everything else. So I'm just checking my phone from messages. Sometimes I'll have a message about Murphy. You know, just popping out, that kind of thing. So margin left is it? Okay, that's not what I'm after, is it? I'm after height. Maybe that needs to be height full. No. And it's wrapping around here. So main. I wonder. No. If I went to courses, that's even smaller. Security, even bigger. I mean, first of all, there needs to be padding down here, right? Definitely. And if I was to see, it's got padding, padding PB. It says padding 8, margin bottom 4. Let's change that to be margin 8. There we go, that brings it out a little bit better. So where's that to? That's in... It's still in user layout, I think. Profile. Oh, these are the actual forms, aren't they? They're the actual forms. These things here. I mean, really, I could have done this a little bit better and just had a wrapper around all of them. So that's security form. That should be margin 8. Profile form is 8. Okay, fine. But what's going on here? I think I need to have a fixed height on the actual pages themselves. At this point. H full. Try that. This is in my account. So my account, sorry, which is in there. I've just noticed something. I'm calling this dashboard my dashboard, and I've called this my account. It doesn't really line up properly, and I've called that dashboard. So there's a little bit of copy needed to be changed there, I think. I think that needs to be my dashboard. And that's my dashboard. And I think on the menu, sorry, I've gone rogue. Menu profile, here we go. That should be my dashboard. And this should be my security. There we go. That all matches up now. But what's going on with the with this H screen? No. Yes. Whoa. That's as. But what's going on under there? Like, I agree that this is going to be a big page, but what's this all about down here? It's almost whoa. It's almost like there's something screwed up here somewhere. User layout. This is so it's in the footer. Is it because of that? Maybe I mean, why do I need this? Why do I need that? I don't need that. I mean, it's just a link back to itself. That's just daft. Do I have that in the other pages? So if I go to, say, I don't know, Discord? No, I don't. Okay, so my profile, my courses, my security. I still would like it to be full width. Sorry, height. But I don't know if it needs to be... It needs to be like that minus the header and the footer. I'm not sure how to do that. And the padding. Because this is height screen. I'm going to just have a look at... There's so many windows open, man. There's like Flask. I'm going to have just a quick look at the Tailwind docs. There we go. Look for height. So there's min height, max height. So let's go to min height. So min height full is height 100%. Min height screen is min height 100 VH. Let's try this one. can find the tabs. And now I'm starting to think I should do this. Not in here, because that's going to cause pain. In here. So at this point here. MH screen. Nope. Where did that go? Oh, I've called it MH screen. That's not right, is it? There we go. Right. So that's the minimum height of the screen height. So if I go profile, security, courses. Okay. And then the next one, the other thing that I could do, if I can, I wish I put that on the tab. I'm having to jump. Let's see if I can put that up into the, here we go. Is this one. Min H full. No. No, okay. Fine. I wish there was a way I could say like minus the header and the footer, but because I just think that's like too much space. It's good though. I mean, I like the look and feel of it. One thing I want to do is have like these links to be sort of highlighted as to the one that you're on. So this is my security, so that would be pink. That would be good. And my dashboard there. But I think we've done well. It's 6 o'clock, so I'm gonna shoot off, grab my dinner, and I will be back on Tuesday. Tuesday at 7 in the morning, 7 GMT. But you can catch me on Discord and also on Twitter at HowToCodeWell. Yeah, thank you ever so much for joining everybody and chatting about React and Vue and various other bits and pieces that we've been talking about, PHP. It's been great. It's been great. So thank you ever so much, everybody, for watching. I also will be publishing these streams on the How to Code Well Live channel. It's a new How to Code Well channel, a YouTube channel called How to Code Well Live. We haven't reached 100 subscribers yet, so we can't have that How to Code Well Live name, okay? Unfortunately, but do search for How to Code Well Live. In fact, what I'll do is I will find the channel name. I should put this as a command. How to Code Well Live. There we go. This is the link to catch all of the previous live streams, and I'm slowly but surely populating that with previous streams. So there you go. Anyway, with that, I am going to shoot off. Happy coding, everyone, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers. Bye.